Welcome to another video. I'm Josh Ham, or Ham of Earth if you follow me on one of my social media platforms. Today we are getting back into a regular series, reading the newspaper. Now before we get into that, go ahead and like this video while you're here to help me with the YouTube algorithm. And if you enjoy or find value in this content, consider subscribing at the end of the video. Now we've done this twice so far. In the first video you saw me read the newspaper from cover to cover, and it was quite lengthy, and frankly I don't have the storage capacity to read the entire paper and create that long of a video. In the second video you saw an annotated version of reading the newspaper, which saw me listing off all of the key topics on note paper and just touching on them briefly. Now moving forward, I think I may want to combine the best of both worlds. I like the simplicity and the genuine nature of reading the newspaper and just sharing this quiet morning with you, but then also doing so briefly so that I don't exceed my storage limit on my telephone. So in order to surpass this, moving into phase 3 of reading the newspaper, we're just gonna go right to my favorite part, which is American Roundup. So without further ado, I'm gonna flip through this page. This paper is October 31st, 2020. Happy Halloween to everybody. I hope you have 1, a plan, and 2, have fun. Not much going on for me this Halloween, so I get to share with you all reading today's version of the newspaper. So here we are, American Roundup. Let's see what kind of crazy shenanigans the American people are getting into today. If you're from any one of the states listed here, go ahead and leave a comment down below to let me know what you think of the news. And if there's something interesting going on in your part of the world, let us know down below as well. All right, starting out the list. Davie, Florida. Man pays to spend time with leopard. Is mauled. A man was mauled by a captive black leopard in a backyard zoo in South Florida, wildlife officials said. The man paid $150 for a full contact experience with the black leopard, which allowed him to play with it and take pictures, WPLG reported. A report by the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission says the incident happened August 31st in Davie, which is near Fort Lauderdale. The agency charged the owner with allowing full contact with an extremely dangerous animal and was cited for maintaining captive wildlife in an unsafe condition. The man was attacked as soon as he entered the leopard's enclosure. Well, the injuries were so severe that his scalp was hanging from his head and his right ear was torn in half, the report said. So, Florida man is at it again. You're paying to go into the enclosure of a black leopard. You halfway had to have known this was a possible outcome. We could not have started this off more perfectly for the Halloween edition of reading the newspaper. Man leaves the enclosure with a scalp half off his head and his ear torn in half. Florida man, we have to be better. That is not acceptable. Folks, be careful when it comes to not only big cats, but any kind of large wild animals that you visit in zoos, in enclosures. Moving on to Waterford, Connecticut. High school evacuated after receiving threats. That's no good. A Connecticut high school was evacuated Thursday morning after someone made threats in a phone call to the school, police said. Waterford High School received the call at about 7:30 a.m. after students had arrived for the day, said Police Lieutenant Tim Silva. The nature of the threat was not disclosed, but Silva said they were not believed to be credible. Police, however, continued to investigate just to be sure. School officials decided later in the morning to send students home for the day. Now, whether this was a serious threat or a hoax, it's always best to play it safe and just do what's in the best interest of the students and the faculty. Especially nowadays, you can't really be sure of what's real and what's fake. So good on you for doing the right thing. Water taxi canceled over safety concerns. Coming out of Seattle, Washington. The West Seattle water taxi was canceled for Thursday morning after an inspection at the Seacrest dock raised concerns that one of the pins connecting the gangway to the shore was damaged, according to King County. King TV reported that out of an abundance of caution, until a repair could be completed, service on the West Seattle route has been canceled until an assessment of the damage can be completed. The water taxi is an important link to downtown Seattle, as a major bridge to West Seattle remains closed due to damage discovered in the spring. Again, another instance of a smart decision. You don't want people out in the water with unsafe water taxis. So hopefully those get up and running soon, and that West Seattle bridge reopens in a timely manner so people can commute as they will. Annapolis, Maryland. States reach offshore wind agreement. Cool. I think we can all agree on wind from time to time. It's a little breezy right now. Maryland, Virginia, and North Carolina announced an agreement Thursday to advance offshore wind development. The states have agreed to form a team with representatives from each jurisdiction that will work to streamline the development of regional offshore wind resources. The three states have committed to work together to increase regulatory certainty and encourage manufacturing of compartment parts. The partnership also will aim to reduce project costs through supply chain development and share information and best practices. Okay, here we go. So 3 states working together to harness the power of the wind. Now, this is going to be good moving forward with renewable energy. So hopefully, this pays dividends here in the future. Waterville, Maine. Children's Museum gets help for a new building. Ooh, here we go. Some more good news. The federal government is going to help a children's museum in central Maine make improvements that will allow for better exhibits. The U.S. Department of Agriculture's Rural Development Community Facilities Program, that was a mouthful. The U.S. Department of Agriculture's Rural Development Community Facilities Program is giving the Children's Discovery Museum in Waterville a $67,500 grant and $692,500 loan. The money is intended to help the museum buy and renovate a building in Waterville. The museum will be able to provide high-quality exhibits and programs. Democratic Rep. Chelly Pingree said. The building will also serve as the museum's new location. She goes on to say, as the most rural state in the nation, Mainers know how important it is to make sure our community institutions modern and accessible. Cool. I think, yeah, that'll be nice. I want to check this out. So I'm gonna look this up online to get a view of like the current facilities and maybe see some plans on what they hope to do in the future with, with this money and also the loan. Des Moines, Iowa. Safe haven law used for second time in 2 months. I feel like there's always something going on in this town. A baby has been surrendered under Iowa's safe haven law for the second time in as many months. The Iowa Department of Human Services said in a news release that a baby girl born October 12th was recently released to the custody of the agency, marking the 47th time the state's safe haven law has been used. The department declined to give details on where the baby was surrendered, citing privacy policies. Earlier this month, Iowa officials reported that another baby girl was born on September 27th, was surrendered to the state custody under the safe haven law. Iowa lawmakers changed state law following 2001 case in which a mother killed her home-delivered newborn in eastern Iowa. Under the law, parents can give the state custody of babies who are 30 days or younger without concern of being prosecuted. Parents or an authorized representative can leave infants at a hospital or other healthcare facilities. Surrendered babies are placed with foster or adoptive families. Now, I'm not going to make a definitive comment on what parents ought to do with children after they're born. My only concern is the best interest of both the parents and any born children. Man arrested on 12th drunk driving charge. Baraboo, Wisconsin. Baraboo. 12th. A man arrested on 12th drunken driving charge. A Wisconsin Dells man arrested on suspicion of drunk driving is facing his 12th charge for drunken driving. How? I'm not going to mention the man's name. Look it up if you're seriously interested. 51 years of age, made his initial appearance Tuesday in Sauk County Circuit Court. The judge set bail at $15,000 cash. The Baraboo, I'm not going to get over that, Baraboo News Republic reported. Authorities say man was arrested for falling asleep behind the steering wheel at a stop sign. He was charged with driving while intoxicated, operating with a prohibited alcohol content, and driving with a revoked license. My friend, that is some serious business. Moving west to Bend, Oregon, man gets 3 years for operating illegal lab. Now, just off this alone, you have to wonder, what sort of lab is this? Is it pharmaceutical? Is it a narcotics? Is it some kind of medical facility? Let's find out. A Bend area man has been sentenced to 3 years in federal prison for running an illegal butane honey oil, or BHO, extraction lab on rural alfalfa area property. Butane honey oil. U.S. Attorney Billy J. Williams said that the suspect also will face 3 years supervised release after his prison term. BHO extraction is a highly volatile and dangerous process that has resulted in explosions, injuring, and killing Oregon residents. According to court documents, the man and his brother grew marijuana, manufactured BHO, and distributed it in other states for significant profit. On March 27, 2018, an Oregon State Police trooper stopped the individual for a traffic violation near Klamath Falls. The officer recognized signs of drug trafficking and eventually found over $20,000 in cash, BHO, and hallucinogenic mushrooms. The Central Oregon Drug Enforcement Team had previously received information regarding the man and his brothers. Detectives later served a search warrant on the brothers' property, finding an indoor marijuana grow with hundreds of plants, a closed-loop BHO lab, 18 pounds of BHO, 200 pounds of marijuana, and 13 firearms. Now, I don't know anything about BHO. I don't know if 18 pounds is a lot. but I'm happy to see that there were no explosions in this case of butane honey oil production. Here we are making our way back to Florida in Miami. Egrets, skipping sex after eating bad fish. What? Egrets. What's an egret? Who is an egret? Egret? Am I even saying this properly? Let me know. Florida's great egrets just aren't in the mood. Blame it on a headache or stomachache caused by eating some bad fish. A University of Florida study found increased mercury exposure is turning egrets off from sex. Again, I don't know if this is like a type of person or an animal but whatever it is, they're getting turned off from eating bad fish. Mercury contamination led to a 50% reduction in the birds. It's a bird. An egret is a bird. Mercury contamination led to a 50% reduction in the bird's attempts to breed, meaning the heavy metal is affecting their reproduction process much earlier than previously thought. The study also noted the full effects of mercury exposure among wading birds may be systematically underestimated. The Miami Herald reported that heavy metals, other contaminants can disrupt hormones, which can then impact the desire to breed. Certain microorganisms can change mercury into methylmercury, a highly toxic form that builds up in fish, shellfish, and animals that eat fish, in a process known as bioaccumulation. Well, very interesting. We now know what an egret is. We watched a high school. From now on, after we complete reading the American Roundup, we're just going to briefly go through each headline again so everyone's informed. So Davie, Florida, man got mauled by a black leopard. Waterford, Connecticut, high school evacuated after receiving telephone threats. Seattle, Washington, water taxi canceled after concerns. Annapolis, Maryland, 3 states reach a wind agreement. Waterville, Maine, Children's Museum gets help for new building. Des Moines, Iowa, safe haven law used for second time in 2 months. Baraboo, Wisconsin, man arrested for his 12th drunken driving charge. Bend, Oregon, man gets 3 years for the illegal BHO lab. And in Miami, Florida, the egret bird is skipping sex after eating bad fish. Now, I hope this new form of video works out okay. We're gonna see how it performs. Thank you all for watching and sticking around this long. If you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe if you enjoyed the content and would like to see more growth from myself and the Reading the Newspaper series in the future. So, until next time, I am Earthbound, and we are all aspiring for greater things. Have a great day.